So Razer sent over their BlackWidow X Chroma, which is their kind of slightly cheaper version of the BlackWidow. It's a full mechanical gaming keyboard, this one being the Chroma edition is full RGB lighting, and we're going to take a look at it, see what it's like to use and all this sort of stuff, so stick around. Check out TechteamGB.co.uk for more awesome news, reviews and other stuff, including more information on this product and many more. Stick around for this awesome video. So just to point out, on the back you do have a couple of features, including the Kali switches and the Chroma backlighting, and inside you do have the little pouch for the letter from the CEO as well as the manual. Now this is the keyboard itself. As you can see, it's a full British layout, although you can get it in non-British layouts if you prefer, and on the top right hand corner you've got the usual assortment of LEDs, including caps lock, num lock, scroll lock, macro record and game mode, and you can change the features of the game mode in the software that I'll show you later. Now this is actually quite a tall keyboard and does feature cherry looking switches, which are mounted directly to the base plate, making this thing pretty easy to clean, but even with the stands or the feet down, it is still really tall to type on. On the bottom you have the ability to change where the cable comes out. It was only a single cable because it's missing a USB pass-through or audio pass-through, so it's quite thin. And also something to note is that it actually looks pretty similar to the Corsair Strafe I have here, with the kind of relatively high typing position as well, so that's something to note. Now this is a comparison between the BlackWidow Ultimate 2013 and this one is practically the same size, even though it's missing the 5 macro keys on the left, which is a little bit of a shame in my opinion. And also, as you can see here, it's a lot higher than the standard one, even with the feet down, and they've changed the font to something that I would consider a little bit more sort of bland compared to their kind of older style, and also they're using the Razer Kali switches, not Cherry MX Blues. Now the overall typing experience for me wasn't too bad. I did actually have a bit of problem with how high my hands had to sit and the sort of angle of my wrists that it actually kind of hurt after a little while, and while I imagine you get used to that, it was a bit uncomfortable, and the actual typing experience on the keys wasn't too bad, but at the same time you can still see the difference. Here's a noise test. In terms of lighting, I'm pretty impressed with this, the sort of full RGB lighting range, which is fully customizable in software, and as it doesn't have a backplate, so the keys are directly mounted onto what is essentially the backplate, it actually has a really nice effect of a kind of underglow of all the keys, and it kind of spreads the light out as well, which looks pretty nice and is definitely a very aesthetically pleasing thing to have on your desk. In terms of software, there's a lot of customizability, including each key can be remapped to anything, and while you are missing the macro keys, which is a bit annoying, you can completely customize the LEDs into pretty much any sort of thing you can imagine. You can apply different effects to different areas and all that sort of stuff. So as I said earlier, my typing experience in this wasn't fantastic. My personal kind of preference in this is that it felt really tall, even with the feet down, and so I would personally expect someone to have to use something like one of those gel wrist rests that keep your wrist pretty high. If you had one of those, I reckon it'd be a pretty functional keyboard, but without that, it just feels like a really high typing experience, like I'm kind of typing like this, as opposed to just resting my hand on the table and you know, playing games or something. And actually, while gaming, it was a very overall painful experience, and while I can see myself getting used to it over time, with things like RSI being a very key issue for someone who uses a PC literally every single day, I don't know that I want to put the strain on my wrists to do that, so yeah. Also, something to mention is that people when asking about reviews of these, were asking about the Razer Kali switches, which are obviously the replacements for the Cherry MX Blues, and while I have to say that I do prefer the MX Blues, I can't see how people say that it completely ruins the product. Now, I can definitely feel a little bit of almost cheapness to the feel, like it does feel less quality in the kind of typing experience, but it's certainly in no way a terrible keyboard because of it. In fact, it's a really nice overall keyboard, but if you had the choice between having a Cherry MX Blue version and a Razer Kali version, I would personally go with the Cherry MX Blue one, even if it cost a couple quid more. Now, in terms of the kind of overall styling of it, I must say that I really do like it. The fact that the key switches are on the base plate, first of all, makes it really easy to clean, and also the underglow effect of the light hitting the keycap and then bouncing back and then sort of flying out the sides looks really, really awesome and gives each key both a sort of shine through and an underglow, which looks really awesome. Other than that, in terms of software, it's really nice as well, being able to customize things, have multi-layer support, so you can have wave cycling on the F keys, and WSD is just a static color, and then spectrum cycling and all this sort of stuff it's really cool. And the actual software itself, Razer Synapse, seems to be pretty good. I've been using it myself for well, since it came out for my BlackWidow 2013 edition, and yeah, it's just really cool. So in terms of actual scoring, I think I'm going to go for a 4 for value for money, because for me it basically feels like a less good version of the BlackWidow 2013 because it's missing the USB pass-through, which is something I use. It's missing the macro keys, even though it's the same size. And for me, I personally prefer the MX Blues, even if I am missing the Chroma lighting on this one. In terms of performance, my personal experience, I'm going to go for a 3 here, because typing really wasn't great on it, and it genuinely did hurt my wrist to type on it, so that is something. But in terms of functionality, because the software is pretty great, I'm going to go for a 4. It's also going to get a 5 for style, because I love the way the thing looks, and overall I think it's going to get a 4 for TechteamGB score, because it is a nice keyboard, and it's certainly, if you had a wrist rest, I could see it being a decent typing experience. Although to say that it's the more value proposition by sort of knocking a couple quid off and then knocking most of the features I end up using off isn't personally for me, although I could see how somebody would want it. So that's kind of it. If you've got any questions, if you've got any suggestions of things I should talk about, or really anything else, feel free to leave that in the comments down below, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, yeah, I guess that's kind of that. Also, I know you've probably heard it a billion times before, possibly from me or other people, but I am an Amazon affiliate, and if you could use my links, it would legitimately help me continue to pay for the rent and all that sort of stuff, because the income from Amazon affiliates pretty much goes straight to paying my rent and all the other stuff that it costs to live and work from home. So yeah, that'd be really awesome, and I would love you very much. So yeah, if you could do that, that'd be cool. And other than that, yeah, feel free to subscribe, check out the channel for the rest of the videos, and we'll see you on the next one. I got a sore throat, but it's only on one side. Girlfriend, who's a scientisty person, says that it's a lymph node that's been sort of swollen up to produce more white blood cells because I have a cold or something. But god damn, it hurts, and it's really weird to talk like this. Anyway, take 477 or something. Like, I genuinely have done a lot of takes of this.